Hi, what's your name?
Mike Reyes.
Mike, good to know you.
Good to know you, Chris.
Why don't we start off and give me a little background, a little professional background.
Sure. I'm a senior level executive, 25 years of experience in the manufacturing industry.
Okay.
I have worked in both corporate level as well as startup level style of companies. I have climbed that corporate ladder from entry level position all the way to professional level executive. And I believe that in doing that, it's kind of really helped me develop my foundation and understand how business functions a little bit more clearly.
Okay.
In addition to that, I'd like to add that I've been married 25 years. I have 4 beautiful children. In fact, I have my first college graduate in May. And
congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm very proud of her. And the reason I bring this up is because in order to really know me, in order to understand who I am, you need to know the personal as well as the business. And although I don't bring my personal life to work and I don't bring my work life home, they're directly and indirectly linked. And I believe it creates who I am. It creates my character traits, my ability to be consistent, determined, perseverant, loyal. It makes me a stable person. And one of the proudest things that I have is I've been married 25 years, and for 23 of those 25 years, I've been with 2 companies. I mean, to me, that's a very important thing.
It's very rare.
Yeah, and it's just that is who really, that's me.
Well, you had mentioned something earlier about when you were a kid, your dad was with P&G.
Correct.
Tell me that story.
Yeah, I was younger, high school age, I believe 16, 17, somewhere around there. Went to go see my dad at work, and he happened to be on the floor. He's an engineer for Procter & Gamble. And, we were down on the floor. He had kind of called me down there, and there's a gentleman he wanted me to meet. And then at the time, I knew who he was. I'd never seen him. And it was John Smales. And John, Mr. Smales, big dog at Procter & Gamble, head guy, so comes over, he goes, hey, how you doing? And we chatted, we really just chatted about sports, football in general, because that's basically what I love to do and play. And so in leaving there, Dad and I driving home, Dad's like, what do you think? I go, great guy, he's a really good guy. And he says, it's getting to that time, what is it that you would like to do with your future? What is, and I already been working towards getting into the Air Force Academy and all that. My parents were really instrumental in that. But the one thing that I got out of that, one thing is all I ever wanted to be was him. Yeah. I mean, I didn't want to be a cowboy, I didn't want to be an astronaut. That's who I wanted to be.
Isn't it funny how great leaders can inspire you?
Absolutely.
And he was the CEO?
Oh yeah, CEO at the time. I mean, he sat on 2 different boards. I mean,
and spend time with you, that can change your whole life.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, talk to me a little bit about how you work with people. I mean, what's your leadership style?
It's so tough because it's always evolving. Although it's consistent in its foundation, I'm hands-on. I'm, clear communicator, direct. It changes it, or it's adaptable to the situation. It's going to depend on the people that I'm working with. It's going to depend on the situation that I'm involved in and the project that you may be managing. And it's an evolving type of thing. I don't micromanage because I don't like to be micromanaged. So I tend to empower and delegate authority to the people around me, and I think that's extremely important, especially in a business, because how do you develop your employees? How do you get them to the next level? I also believe in cross training. Too many times we hire someone and we put them in a position and we give them the clear-cut directions of what they're supposed to do, and they become myopic. I mean, they just look straight forward. Oh, this is my job, without ever understanding what's going on around them. Right. I encourage, you need to understand everything else around you. You have to see everything else around you. Know what the right hand is doing, know what the left hand is doing. Know how you affect their jobs as they affect yours. And I believe that in doing those things and delegating and empowering them to do these things, it gives them a self-worth, but also it provides the company just a much better asset. Of course, the employee now is also becoming a much better asset in themselves.
Well, where has that paid off for you? Give me an example of a success story where that's worked well.
Well, that type of situation is clearly, I think, can be summed up because there's so many other things in it. But in 1999, I was asked to, I was offered an opportunity to come and run a startup company, and at the time, if you really get to know me, I'm not a gambler, I'm not a risk taker. It's just something I just don't do. But based on the information that these people provided, the ownership provided me, I just knew I had to take this chance. I mean, again, go back to that dream. I want to be that gentleman. I want to be Smales. this is it. It's a once-in-a-lifetime type of opportunity, no matter what anyone thinks. So uproot my family, leave the Midwest. Here I come to Las Vegas. And in doing so, here I am at a startup. Great support from the ownership, but I never have done this. I don't know where to begin. Aside from the plant getting put in, where else do you start? So, kind of laid down some little bit of a groundwork, and I said, okay, sales. We got to get the sales going. I mean, that's number one. Got to get sales, otherwise.
That's the top of the P&L, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So,
There's no bottom line without the top line.
Not at all. So just, I had no context on this coast. It's a market niche that I hadn't been involved with in years, and it's just basically starting from scratch. So you get data by calling customers, finding out what it is their needs are, what their wants are, what their desires are, and understanding that the company had been here for 18 years, dominating this market, the Mountain States and the Pacific area, was just so laissez-faire. I mean, here's a product. If it works, doesn't work, we don't care. So basically, we knew we were going to make a quality product. But anyways, it was all based on customer service. That's what we had to get to, is customer service. Yeah. And in doing so, we got the sales going. We started hitting all the numbers that we needed to do. And then the rest of it, though, still had to get taken care of. I still had to get back in and do all the accounting. How am I going to set up the orders to get to you? How the process is going to be? How it's going to be scheduled? We want to make our plant ISO, not only the plant, but we want to make the administration the same thing. So all of those things had to come together. And it was that's what I had to do. And that's how I had to, put all the things together.
From what I've seen of you got the people skills probably to carry that off too. But let me ask you this, bottom line, and maybe you sort of answer this. I mean, if a company's got 4 or 5 good candidates for a key leadership role in a company, why you?
23 and 2. 23 years, 2 companies. Stability, commitment, loyal. I love to take on new challenges. I have, I don't shy away from anything. I believe that I've climbed that proverbial corporate ladder, entry level all the way to the executive level. I have really done it all. I have worn more than one hat. I have become a type of person that can work in any element. And so in today's economy, where companies have to do more with less, I fit that bill.
Okay, very good. Well, Mike, I certainly appreciate your time. It's been a pleasure chatting with you.
Well, it's a pleasure as all mine.
Okay.
Thank you, Chris.